Um, I saw a video. It must have been 2 years ago, and I was like in the midst of like a 3 week sobriety stint. I think I may have been drinking, just looking up videos to try to inspire me to just drop it again. I forget the guy who made the video, but he was explaining how every like so many months it's like you almost have a brain transplant, and like that motivated me because you're not dehydrating your brain cells aren't being killed, you're not wreaking havoc on your body, your vitamin B1 and B12 isn't being deficient. I've always tried to take that like crazy, you know? So like your body's regenerating, not all of your organs, but your brain is definitely recuperating, right? So when he was saying this, I was like, yeah, when I reached 3 months, 4 months before, it felt like I had more clarity and I was thinking faster. But when I hit like 6 months and now 9 months, there's a pretty drastic difference, and like it makes me excited to get to a year or 2 years. You know, when you're not wreaking havoc every weekend, every other weekend, or every day, whatever your situation is, it gives you your brain time to. I believe it heals. I mean, is there damage done? Sure. I mean, for me, it's been years of weekend binge drinking, like every other weekend, once or twice a month. Is there damage? I'm not. There may be, but I'm telling you now, when you're not wreaking havoc on your brain, your thought process is faster. Your neurotransmitters are firing faster. Um, 9 months in feels drastically different than 3 months, 6 months. You know what I mean? Every like 3 month increment, it's like you're feeling it. Your dopamine, your serotonin's better. You're never perfect. You're still gonna be down. You're still gonna crave. It's a battle the whole time. It gets easier. There's times I'm feeling more happy than normal. I'm starting, because I'm enjoying the things I would substitute with alcohol, or I would use alcohol to enjoy. Like I've went through numerous game releases sober now. When I would get blasted and play them, or new music I would just vibe out to drunk, super drunk. Now I like it sober. Like you adapt to it, right? It's habitual in your brain. It's like it rewires. I mean, I don't even think top neuroscientists can really answer this. They don't even know the brain completely, but I feel like it adapts. Like when I quit caffeine, I think it will adapt in a way. I'm sure everything, the caffeines and I don't know the exact chemicals that are attaching to certain things, but it makes a change when you go without it. Um, I apologize for the air conditioner, but yeah, when you make it to these milestones, you will feel a difference in your the way your brain's working. My memory's better. I think much faster. Man, after a night of drinking for like a whole day or two, my brain processes were so much slower. Like I couldn't think right. My ADHD was haywire, My synapses were firing like crazy, and the anxiety, um, constantly dealing with the regret and shame, like it just slows you down, and you don't think as well. You're basically it's a toxin, and it dehydrates your brain. It's like slowly, incrementally killing your brain, and it definitely shows in the thought processes and how fast you are. You know, and when you go without it for so long, your brain it makes a change there. I'm telling you. Even the serotonin and dopamine, I can feel a difference. It's not perfect. It can still take, I mean, it depends on the usage. It can take a year, 3 years. It takes some people 3 months, right? If you're like not super heavy, it takes lesser time. For me, I'm thinking after a year, a year to 2 years, Because I'm already feeling it, but it's not like super substantial. We'll talk here in another year. Hopefully, I'm still sober. And the effects are still, much greater. I hung more amiibos up back there. So, like, if you go back 2-3 years ago, the whole background has evolved. The guitars got put up, shelf, pictures, the Funkos, the amiibos. It, like, grew into this, like, whole collection fiasco. I always had collectibles in my attic from my childhood and stuff, but I got obsessed during the pandemic. But, yeah, that's off topic. But, yeah, it really is. In that video, when he states about how it's like having a brain transplant, it's sort of like true. You're a different person almost, especially like when I speak to people. When I was drinking, right, like especially the first half of the week, I didn't want to communicate. I just didn't care. Felt like crap. My anxiety was through the roof. Everything was cut short. Yes, no, Then, by day 4 or 5, I was back to talk, and then I would drink again on the weekend or the following weekend. Now when I talk, it's like I don't shut up. Even though I still have that social anxiety, like I talk more than, like to me in my mind, it's like I'm an introvert. I like to keep to myself. I don't like to talk much, and I'm still like that with new people, but once you get to know me, I don't shut up. And I'm like, wow, I'm talking more. But when I was constantly hungover for a few days out of the week, it wasn't, my social skills were just much less, right? Like, it'll come easier. I'm still, battling with like the anger and getting triggered. I'm getting better. I'm constantly aware of it, and I'm getting better at it. And that's good. That's self-improvement. And people that haven't seen me in a year or two, I feel like when they do, not only physically, but mentally, they're going to be like, wow, like this dude changed. And I like that. And people have told me that. And it's nice because it's like the old person, you shed out of it and you move on, right? I don't want to be that weekend drinker, man. The edge I had the whole time is I always knew it was a problem. And a lot of my friends that were drinking like I was, they didn't know. They didn't acknowledge it. They were afraid to acknowledge it. But I was always like, this is stupid, man. This is a problem. And I could go to events without alcohol. A lot of my friends, there always had to be alcohol there. Oh, I'll bring beers. There are going to be beers. There are going to be liquor. Is it a party? I always went to a lot of events without that. So, like, they're associating even more with alcohol than I was. So, like, and they still are to this day. It's weird how I haven't been to a bar in a year, but I guarantee if I go down there and drink water, it's going to be the same people doing the same thing. Hey, I used to have FOMO, like fear of missing out, and it's just, that's completely relieved now. Like, the veil gets lifted and you'll start to see alcohol, even though you're still going to maybe have cravings and you're going to be like, man, I'm missing out on, it's going to be there, but it's so light because it's like, okay, they're drinking beer, they're drinking liquor, they're messed up. People are getting into trouble. They're fighting. They're going to have hangovers the next day. They're drinking a substance that I want no part in now. Before it was like, man, I want to go so bad. I want to get messed up. I want to have a good time. I want to be with my friends. Now it's like, I have no desire for it. It's weird how it's changed. The first few months of sobriety, that stuff will really mess with you. And you get past like 6 months, 6 months, it really alleviates. And I stress this a lot because a lot of people, when they stop drinking, they'll get to like 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, and then they go, they're in that perpetual cycle. And I've done that. And I always knew if I got past my personal best of 4 to 6 months, it would really change. And I got there, and it really did. I knew that was the key, and I got there, man. And it feels, when these people are telling you it gets easier, things change, but it's never perfect. You're always going to have a bit of a struggle. They're right. And when you're drinking and you're watching these videos, or you're hungover, or you're like a weekend to not drinking, it just seems like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to reach it. It seems like unachievable. But it really is. And when you get there, you'll see it. It's like almost like an epiphany in a way. It's not perfect. It isn't, but it's easier, man. You know how nice it is to not like deal with it, going and buying it and drinking it to excess. Like the amount of alcohol, dude. Just if you're drinking a lot, just think about it. I used to think about it when I was drinking it, like, wow, I'm consuming a lot. It's just not normal. And the whole like big boy, my tolerance is so big and bad. That's stupid crap to me. And people are like, oh, I'll outdrink you. Like, I had a high tolerance, man, and I was never really proud of it, but I could outdrink a lot of people. And, you know, there's people that drank every day that could outdrink me, but that's neither here nor there. To me, that's stupidity. Like I tried to explain in another video, when your tolerance is high, you're wreaking more havoc on your body to get to that same level of buzz. The 2 beer lightweight, to me, I always envied that. Because if I could have drank 2 beers and had a really good buzz or drunk, or like a mixed drink and been messed up, that's like, you save money, you're only consuming so much of the alcohol. When you have a high tolerance and you're pounding 12, 20 beers or 10 mixed drinks and shots, it's a lot more on your body. That's why, you know, people that are like, oh, I've got a high tolerance, I can outdrink you. It is pathetic to me now. It really is. It was even back when I was drinking, when I could drink like that. If I would consume when I was in my mid-20s, the alcohol I would consume on a weekend, if I would do that today, it could possibly kill me. I probably could have blown a 0.38 to 0.4 at times, and that is bad. Maybe like a 0.35. I don't know. That's, you know. Yeah, my buddy had a breathalyzer one time, and I blew like a 0.27 in the morning, and it was like hours after I was drinking, so I'm sure I was at like a 0.35, which is not good. I think your average person that would go out and drink and get like pretty intoxicated, like a 0.2, like a 0.15, they're feeling pretty good, you know what I mean? But as your tolerance goes up, I've heard of people blowing over 0.4s. Like your average person would be deceased at that. But yeah, this is dragging on like always. But yeah, trust it. Stick with it. Just get that sober time in and really just, it's hard, man. It really is. It's a struggle. But another thing I got to work on is sleep. That's another video in itself. But yeah, I pretty much said all I could about this topic. Just get there and share your thoughts when you're there. I've heard of people that get a whole boatload of sobriety under them and they're still like, they're not feeling it. You know, they're still down, and maybe it's a chemical thing in their brain. Maybe they have mental health issues. I don't know. But I have heard of people that like get a year sober and they're just still like miserable. I'm not really feeling that. There might be some other outlying circumstances there, but I have heard that. But most people will tell you these things, these positive things. But yeah, take it easy.